What up, Cyber family? We are here to recap the Dallas Cowboys 2023 NFL Draft, and also here to talk about what the rest of the NFC East did and how I think that's going to affect the Cowboys going forward. But if I'm going to talk about the Cowboys, I got to do something real quick. That's better. So going into the draft, my priority number one, and in my mind what the Cowboys should have been focused on, is getting weapons to help Dak Prescott reach his highest potential. I feel like since he came into the league, Dak has shown you that he is not the kind of guy to elevate lesser talent. He needs a lot of elite talent around him, and since you got him and you're stuck with him, you're not going to move him. You better get some people around him that can help him excel. So I wanted Darnell Washington out of Georgia, the tight end, in the first round, maybe even early in the second round, trade back, whatever it was going to be. That's who I wanted on the team. I also wanted Zach Evans. Well, come to find out, Darnell Washington has 2 bad knees, was a red flag, injury flag. He wasn't even on the board for the Cowboys. He wasn't an option. And then also Zach Evans has a major character concerns, so he wasn't on the board either. So my 2 favorite guys in the draft, not even there. It is what it is. I felt like by getting Stephon Gilmore in the offseason on the trade market, I feel like what you did was bolstered a defense which is already the strength of your team. So I didn't think going into the draft you needed to focus too much on defense. I thought it was a clear runway to go offense heavy. What did they do in the first round? Defensive tackle Mazi Smith. Now look, I'm not mad at any of the picks that they made in this draft. The reality is they made their team better with these picks. They got really good players, just not the direction I thought they were going to go in, or I hoped they would go in. But Mazi Smith is a really good run-stopping defensive tackle, a true one technique, a true nose, a true guy who's going to sit there, clog up the middle, who's strong. That's what he's going to do. He's going to come in, he's going to do his job, and he's going to do it well. I'm not mad at the pick. It's a really good pick. He wasn't going to be there in the second round for you, so I understand it. But man, I really wanted an offensive player. So going into day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3, I said my dream scenario would have been for them to walk away with a tight end and a running back. And like I said before, Darnell Washington and Zach Evans were the 2 guys that I was targeting. Well, at pick 58, they went ahead and picked up Luke Schoonmaker, tight end out of Michigan. And at this point, I'm thinking they must be playing with me. You guys know I'm an Ohio State fan. So picking back-to-back Michigan players, it's a slight against me, right? It's the sports gods looking at me and saying, hey, deal with it. He's not a bad player. He's a solid player. The Cowboys favor tight ends who are really good in the run game as far as blocking and also have some potential to get down the field. Luke Schoonmaker does both of those things very well. I think he is a solid pickup. I'm not sure how much better he is than the guys you have, but that's not my job to figure it out. I'm just here to report the news. Then we go to Demario Overshown, who is an undersized linebacker, guy who is converting from safety, I believe. Again, a super athlete, a guy, when you pair him with Dan Quinn's defense, you have a lot of excitement about what he could become. I'm not mad at the pick. In the 3rd round, it's a solid pickup. He's a heat-seeking missile. Go get him. That's what he does. I think putting him in this defense with this defensive staff, I think it could be really good. But again, not the direction I was hoping they'd go in. They then go ahead and get Junior Fihoko, defensive tackle. They get Eric Scott, a cornerback, and they get Deuce Vaughn, and they get Jalen Brooks, a wide receiver. Now, the Deuce Vaughn pick is very interesting because as far as running backs go, if you're looking at just sheer watch the tape, watch the productivity, this guy is top 5 in the draft, no doubt about it. Elite running back, but he's 5'5". He's a little guy, so that's kind of concerning to me. But he has return potential. He can return punts, he can return kicks. He's going to be a monster in the screen game. He's good between the tackles. He's a really good player. But the size is a concern, and I wonder what they're going to do as far as priority free agents. Are they going to pick up some undrafted guys, invite some guys to camp? Like, I'm not really sure what the game plan is. I think they passed over some really good guys in this draft. I'm not mad at the Deuce Vaughn pick. Again, much like every other pick in the draft, I'm not mad at any of this. It's all solid, but it's just not the direction I was hoping they'd go in. See, I really think you need to surround Dak with the best talent you can get, and I'm not sure if the guys you got fit that bill. But look, what I can tell you is I think they are doing the right thing by building their team and adding in toughness. The defensive players they got in here are really good athletes, and very, very physical. Even Schoonmaker, I'm not really sure how to say his name, to be honest with you. I'm gonna say Schoonmaker from now on. I don't even know if that's right, but that's what it's gonna be. Hey, brother, you Schoonmaker to me. He's a tough kid too. He's a tough guy. They're all physical. Even Jalen Brooks, the wide receiver out of South Carolina, who they drafted in the 7th round, kind of a throwaway pick. He's going to be a special teams ace. He's a guy that's really good on special teams, on coverage, and on return. Look, when you look at the rest of the NFC East, I think outside of Jalen Carter for the Eagles, I know we're going to talk about Nolan Smith and how good of a pickup that was, and Kaylee Ringo, but those are two guys who I feel like could be boom or bust. Like, I'm not really scared of those guys. Jalen Carter's a really good pickup. When you look at the Giants, they did really well. They got themselves Deonte Banks. They got Schmitz out of Minnesota at center, who's a really good pickup. And then they went ahead and they got Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd round. But again, Jalen Hyatt's one of those guys who's a speed guy. Can he run routes? Nah, not really. So you can kind of defend against that, right? Like, he's not that scary. But they did a really good job too. And then the Commanders, they did what the Commanders always do. They got some really good corners early in the draft. So everyone seemed to have the same thought in mind, which is let's improve our defenses. But then again, like, who's going to end up with the best offense? Like, I'm not really sure the Cowboys did anything in this draft that is exceptional. I think they got solid players. I think they got solid value. And I think realistically, like, I'm not too excited coming out of this draft, man. I just think, again, it's tough because I'm not mad at the picks they made. I don't think they made bad picks. I just don't feel like they got anything that's going to greatly change the outcome of where they were last year. I think last year the biggest problem they had was the quarterback position. And I think you're not going to get rid of him. So the best thing you could do is add a bunch of talent and elite players around him. I don't think you did that, especially not at running back. I don't know if Tony Pollard coming off a knee injury and Deuce Vaughn is going to get the job done. I don't know, man. Look, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you happy with the Cowboys draft? Do you think they blew it? Do you think they messed something up? Is there a guy that you wanted that you feel like that they passed up on? Let me know in the comments down below. Join the family, join the conversation. I'll see you guys next.